Hey everybody, it's C.Cocozzella, and I am coming to you today from my home in Colorado. And I am a U.S. Field Development Manager, and we are going to be talking about recruiting today. So I am going to move this over here and reduce it for now so we can jump right in. So today what we're going to be talking about is recruiting at the party for in-person as well as for virtual. And our goal really on this webinar is to give you what you need to have as many recruits in a year as you would like. So I hope that sounds like something that you would like to do. So let's just talk for a minute. Oh, there's me. All right, I skipped a slide here. All right, so let's just talk about success in recruiting. And here's the thing that I know about success, whether it's recruiting or anything else that we do in life. It doesn't matter if you want to have success as a financial planner, as a mother, or you want to lose weight. It doesn't matter what you want to have success in. But when we think about having success in reaching our goals, or in falling short of our goals, it usually falls into one of three buckets. So think for a minute as to what those three buckets are. Three things that can lead to success. I want you just to think for a minute what that could be. Most of us have a general idea, and they usually fall into one of these three categories. It's about skills, habits, and beliefs. If you're having success, it's because you have strong, positive skills, habits, and beliefs. If you're not having success, all the success that you want to have, it's because you're lacking in one or more of those areas. So let's just start with this concept. I want you to take a minute to think about why you are not where you want to be in recruiting. And if you are where you want to be, what's contributing to that? So I want you to first write down, do you think it's a skill, a habit, or belief that's impacting this? Just take a minute to think about that. As a matter of fact, stop the video and write it down. And then what I want you to do is write down a brief explanation of that. So give an example. Like if you say skill, maybe it's that you don't know what to say at a show to create desire for the business. So take a minute to write that down. Just stop the video now and go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go ahead and move on and talk about what strong recruiting looks like. If we're looking at the number of people that you recruit in a year, if you are personally recruiting less than 6, then unfortunately you are going to be going backwards. And why is that? Because usually you're going to have more people drop than join if you're only recruiting 6 in a year. 7 to 11 recruits, you may struggle some months. And I think the next one surprises people when we talk about having 12 to 17, that you can maintain a consistent team. That's great to maintain that consistent team, but it is really when you get to that 18 to 24 in a year mark. That's about 2 recruits a year if you're hitting the 24 mark. That's where you're going to have strong growth. Now, I know some of you right now are saying, wait a minute, I'm a new director. I just became a director in the last month or two or the last quarter. But this chart gives you a good idea of what to look at. What to look for, in your first full year of the business. These are some great goals to strive for, to be at that 18 to 24 in a year. Now, just a side note, you want your team recruiting to match your personal recruiting. For example, if you are recruiting 20 in a year, then your entire personal team should be recruiting 20 in a year. So the first thing I want you to do is write down a personal recruiting goal for the year and a team recruiting goal. All right, so if you are in our lead program, let's just talk about this. Let's say you're recruiting 2 a year because, I'm sorry, 2, that's not good, 2 a year, 2 a month, because that's what this program is all about, is recruiting 2 a month. And because you're a member of LEAD, we know that you all are going to be recruiting 2 a month in February, March, April, and May, and June, right? So that's 10 recruits right there. Then what I want you to decide is to keep it up after LEAD ends and recruit 2 a month every single month. And how would it feel to recruit 24 in a year? Now, I know some of you are thinking, how can this happen? Well, it can, and we have proof. We have seen it in LEAD. We only use about 10% of our potential, and if we commit to it, we will amaze ourselves with what we can do. So stop the video, pick a number, and write down your personal recruiting goal and your personal team recruiting goal. That's how many team recruits are you going to have without your recruits. So stop the video and jot that down. All right. Okay, so then we want to look at how many indirect recruits that you are going to have. I guess I shouldn't have had to stop the video so quick. Those are the recruits that your personal recruits welcomed or will welcome to your team. So look at how many that your team has recruited so far, and then think about who on your team wants more out of their business. If each of those people just recruited 1 a month for the rest of the year, how many would they recruit? All right, so now I want you to stop the video and write that down. All right, so what does it take to recruit someone? Well, we know by this slide here that it's all a numbers game, but we're going to talk about some more numbers. All right, so you may have heard us talk about recruiting at the show as inform, invite, and interview. So what does that mean? Inform is where you're really creating desire. You are planting seeds. You're complimenting people, telling them why you think they would be great at Pampered Chef. And then you have to invite. Invite is asking them one-on-one, probably at the checkout chat, maybe before that in a virtual party. And the interview is when you're actually having a chat with them about what it takes to start a business. And we call this an opportunity chat. Now, keep in mind, if you're informing at your show, let's say you're at a live cooking show and you tell everybody that you're looking for people to join Pampered Chef, that is not inviting. That is just informing. I like to call that a public announcement. All right, when you invite, that is personally one-on-one inviting people to talk to you. And then, of course, the interview, whether it's a messenger chat or a one-on-one conversation or you're meeting for coffee, that is when you're actually going to be able to have that conversation. And I will tell you, this part is usually the part that people are missing out on. They're not having the time to actually have the conversation. Now, one thing that the field development managers have always taught you guys is that we know that 1/3 of the people that you talk to will have an interest in the business. That means 1/3 of the people that you inform are going to have an interest. All right, we call this the 1/3 rule. And 1/3 of those people are going to decide to meet with you or just to have a conversation over Messenger. And then 1/3 of those will actually join you. So let's just take a look at an example. Now, I know that we typically talk about having 2 parties a week. And how many guests do you typically have? I know we sometimes talk about having 10 guests at each show, but I'd like to just give you an example of what would happen if you had 15 guests either attending or ordering. That's 30 guests in a week. All right, so if we have 30 people that we see in a week and you divide that by 3, that's 10 that are interested. Now I want you to notice this. If that's 10 that are interested, that means that there are 20 that pretty much had no interest, don't care, walked away, hardly talked to you. All right, so are you going to worry about the 10 that are interested or the 20 that walked away? I hope you're going to worry about the 10 that are interested. All right, so now we've got 10 that are interested. Let's look at the 10 divided by 3 that are willing to learn more. That means that you have about 3 people that are like, hey, yeah, I want to learn more about this. in a week, you guys. So out of those 3, if a third join, then you are going to have one that will join your team each and every week. Okay, if you did that consistently, you guys, every single week, think about the number of recruits that you would have. All right, that's pretty exciting to think about getting 1 recruit every single week. Could anyone get used to having 1 recruit a week? I know I could. All right. So let's just talk about this, because parties are the very best place to find team members. You already have a captive audience, and they already have at least some interest in Pampered Chef. Otherwise, they wouldn't be at the party, right? So it's important to go into the party with the right mindset. Some consultants go into the party thinking, well, I don't want to come off as pushy, or, they're not going to be interested in doing this. Or, I've seen this group of people before. 6 months ago, I offered them all the business and they all said no, they weren't interested. They're certainly not going to be interested now. So let's be honest. How many of you have had these thoughts before? All right, these are limiting beliefs, and there could be more. So the question is, what are your limiting beliefs? I want you to write them down on your worksheet, all right? So there was a worksheet that was available with this webinar. Should have been sent to the same email to you. So make sure you're following along on that worksheet. So go ahead and just stop the recording and write down what your true limiting beliefs are. All right, so there is a saying that says, if you change the way you think, you will change the way you act. All of these thoughts are nothing but lies. So I want you to stop thinking with these limiting beliefs. I want you to change your mindset. People need us. Recruiting is offering the incredible Pampered Chef business to others so they can benefit the way you have. Did you guys catch the why in that definition? So they can benefit the way you have. Recruiting isn't about you, it's about them. Now, with that in mind, there's an ancient Chinese proverb that says, when someone shares something of value with you and you derive benefit from it, you have an obligation to share it with others. I remember hearing this early on in my business, and it really impacted me. You guys, Pampered Chef is relevant to everyone around you. People not only need the extra income, but they also want that opportunity. They want the confidence, encouragement, support, and community that comes with being part of something bigger than themselves. Let me check something here. Okay. All right. So, not to mention that people want the flexibility that comes with having your own business. People need Pampered Chef, and they need you to offer it to them. So let's think about who some of your future team members might be. All right, so fill in the blanks on your worksheet as we go through these slides. Think about people who want a little more. Maybe they want I want a little more of whatever that picture is, wherever that is, right? Kind of looks like Colorado, actually. I want a little bit more flexibility. Maybe they want a little bit more income, or even a little bit more fun. Maybe they have a full-time job or a full-time family, but a little more of all those things could make a huge difference in their life. You could be helping a stay-at-home parent, a friend, a family member, looking for a flexible part-time job that can work around other commitments, which might be their kids' schedule or taking care of elderly parents. What about people who love our products? You know, the chefs and the chef wannabes who are passionate about their Pampered Chef collection or love cooking with their products. And what about people who would want to retire? but they can't. You know, the 2007 to 2009 recession left many people with insufficient retirement funding, and they feel stuck, and they worry that they may have to work for the rest of their lives. And what about people who just don't like their jobs? Maybe they don't like the work and wish they could change careers. Maybe they're not paid or treated what they're worth. And what about people who are college students or recent graduates? Research shows that 61% of them don't have a job when they graduate. And 40% of those who have jobs barely earn enough to pay down their student loans, which can be upwards of $30,000 to $50,000. And sadly, 1/3 of new college grads make less than $25,000 each year. I know some of you that have kids in college now are panicking. So it's a big deal. So what about people that are in debt? If they're deep in debt, wow, that can really be challenging. That can be a big burden. The average credit card debt per indebted household is over $15,000. And that's according to nerdwallet.com. And you know what, you guys, that doesn't include mortgages or student loans or car payments or other lines of credit. Those payments add up quick. Debt and finances take a toll on individuals and their families, according to a recent study by SunTrust Banks. Finances are the leading cause of stress in a relationship. So here's the thing, you guys, you hold the keys to a new opportunity for these people and others that will serve them well professionally and personally. You have the power to help all of these people find a more abundant life. That is what Pampered Chef can do for them. Your recruiting possibilities are endless, and the impact you make has the ability to change lives for the better. And that's not something you want to keep to yourself. So I want you all to decide right now that you won't keep this opportunity to yourself. I want you to take action on two things. The first thing is I want you to think of someone who fits in each of the above categories and tell them about our opportunity. If you know someone right now, write their name to the left of each of these categories on your worksheet. All right, so stop the video. Go ahead and do that right now. All right, now I want you to go back to your limiting beliefs on page 1, and I want you to cross those out. Let's see, is that where we wrote our limiting beliefs? I have to look at the worksheet. Yes, on page 1, that is where you wrote your limiting beliefs. So go ahead and cross out your limiting beliefs. I don't want you guys to let these limiting beliefs stop you from sharing this great opportunity. So go ahead and do that now. All right, here's the deal, you guys. You have to have the right mindset when you are recruiting at your party. Have you ever heard this saying, there's a recruit at every party? Is there a recruiter? People are waiting for you to share the opportunity with them, whether they know it or not. And how will they know it unless you share it with them? To recruit people, you have to be willing to do more than a quick ask at the party checkout. Recruiting is about building sincere, authentic relationships with people by focusing on and connecting with them over time. Sharing the opportunity inspires people. It gives them hope. It gives them a vision of what's possible. And of course, the best place to find potential team members is at the party. So just like booking and selling, recruiting can be a very natural part of your party experience. As a matter of fact, about half of our consultants were hosts before joining Pampered Chef, and many more were guests at a party. So think about it. You are already getting to know people and providing solutions for their kitchens and bookings for their calendars So why not take it to the next level by sharing how a Pampered Chef business could be exactly what they're looking for? I want you to just imagine how your team might grow if you considered 2 questions for every person at every party. Every person at every party. Here's the 2 questions. What can Pampered Chef do for them? You guys, with this one, you need to think about the benefits we have that can match their needs. And what can they do for Pampered Chef? I always like to think about the gifts that they have to contribute as a consultant. This is really a great way to complement them. Then, when you get a chance to share the business with them, whether it's at checkout, in a one-on-one conversation, or in a follow-up, you can make it a much more personal connection that serves them and invites them into something they will want to be a part of. So it's important to get to know people at your parties. Ask questions about their lives, their careers, and their interests. And this will help you get the information you need to answer these 2 questions. But most important, listen. Always be on alert for clues that could jump-start a conversation about this opportunity, not for your sake, but for theirs. And you know what? Don't spend time worrying about how they'll respond. For some, it will be an instant yes, and for others, the process can take longer. We all learn and process information and make decisions differently, and it's important for you to honor that. You never know when that person will have their aha moment and the time will be right for them to join the business. Remember, life circumstances change all the time. So stay focused on the relationship first and you'll earn trust, and it takes time to welcome them to your team. All right. So there are countless ways to weave recruiting into your in-person and virtual parties. And here are some that will make a big difference for you. Number 1, building relationships. Of course, this happens right at the beginning of the show and continues. Then you want to have your intriguing intro. And of course, you're going to plant seeds throughout the show. You're going to share your story. And then you're going to have a powerful and effective checkout chat. And you're going to follow up. All right, so let's just start off with talking about building relationships. So you're going to build relationships as you greet your guests. Now, this could lead to a recruit, a host, or even stronger sales. You never know who your next recruit will be. And that's why it's so important to be thinking about recruiting from the moment you greet them at the door or when they respond to your roll call post if you're doing a virtual party. Now, that doesn't mean you open the door and say, hey, it's so nice to meet you. You want to join my Pampered Chef team? But you can start learning about the guests and building a relationship. Here's a great way to do it. You want to establish rapport with easy, open-ended questions. Then keep the conversation going with 2 to 3 follow-up questions that can help you learn more about their life, their interests, and their situation. Remember, listening is key to a strong conversation. If you are doing a virtual party, you can try a roll call post. You can ask guests to comment with fun details like their name, where they live, or even a selfie or favorite emoji. I like that one. Show some love on each of the comments to make the guests feel welcome. Also, I heard a great idea from Executive Director Julie Ritter recently. If you're doing a virtual party, you can do a What's the Magic Word post and video to post on your pre-party day. Simply create an early bird post with a welcome video and tell them they'll get an extra entry into a drawing when they message you the magic word from your video. Be sure to tell them to listen to the very end so they hear the magic word. The magic word should always be related to the new consultant special that month. Of course, they send you a private message so they don't give it away to the others. Then keep a few short videos on hand of you demoing some really fun products like the popcorn maker, the wine bottle opener, or the grill pan. You can do a nightly video during your party. After they send you the magic word, ask them a fun question about the nightly demo videos. This is a great way to start an informal chat back and forth about them or the products that they saw that night. Chat with them as long as they will engage with you. This will set you up for a great checkout chat in Messenger at the end of the party because you are now friends with them. This helps you better serve them as well. You will start to know whether they need our products, would like to host, or try the business opportunity, or some combination of the three, without even directly asking those questions. So I'm sure you are thinking, okay, what are the words to say to start building those relationships? So here are a couple great questions that you can ask them. How's your day going so far? I love this question because you always get different, unique answers. And this is simple. It's a genuine question. It really can give you insight into problems that you can help them solve. Also, you can use a post to do this on a virtual party. As their answers start rolling in, comment on every single post with one more question to help you get to know them a little bit more. Think of it as if you were meeting them in person for the first time. You want to keep the conversation going. Maybe they don't like their job. Maybe they're a stay-at-home parent thrilled to get out of the house for the evening. Whatever the response, you can ask a few more questions based on their answers that will help you personalize the opportunity for them. By the way, this is a great meeting activity, as this is not a natural skill for everyone on your team. So think about that, directors, of making this a fun meeting activity. So here's another example. This is also in your handout, and we have the word choices there so you guys can read that. But how do you know the host? This really does help you connect with others for a more engaging experience. And if they work with the host, ask them what they do and if they enjoy it. If they're looking to leave that job, Pampered Chef just may be the perfect option for them. This business is all about relationships, and learning more about each of the guests will serve you well. You'll be able to create connections from what you learn as you customize your checkout chat. And we'll talk more about that conversation in a few minutes. Now, once you've greeted your guests, the next step is to create interest with your introduction. Okie doke. So your intro is a natural place to create interest in what you do by sharing who you are and why you joined. The key here is to keep it short and sweet and have them leave wanting more. So let's talk about this. This is a quick, intriguing intro. You are going to want to include your name, how long you've been with Pampered Chef, either in months or years, why you joined, and the key here is just a sentence or two. All right, and then what I like to call a teaser. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. All right, so if you're doing a virtual party, you can do this in your consultant's welcome message, and you can make it more impactful and get better results by sharing your message in a video instead of just a post. Now, one thing here that I think is really important. If you joined because you wanted the kit and you plan to do 4 shows and then quit, we don't recommend that you lead with that. Why? Because this sets up a very limited expectation of what the business can be for them. When you open with that, it plants the seed of, oh, I can do that. I didn't even know that was possible, just to join and get the kit. All right, so instead you want to say something like, I joined because I love the products. That kind of introduction will pique their interest and tune them into other seeds that you're going to be planting throughout the party. So here's an example. I'm Kathy, and I've been with Pampered Chef for 3 years. Now, I originally joined because I loved the products and I wanted to earn a little extra income. But I'll tell you what, this business has turned into a lot more than that. And I'll tell you more about that a little later. So let's get cooking. All right. So you guys, what happens here is it's like you have them just on the hook, and they're going to want to hear the end of the story. It's kind of like if somebody told a joke and they didn't tell you the punchline, you're going to want to hear that punchline, right? All right, so see how that works? I want you to grab your worksheet, stop the video, and this is where you're going to want to write your intro. All right, so go ahead, stop the video, and do that now. All right, let's talk about planting seeds. You are going to be planting seeds throughout the show. Now, why do you want to do this? Well, here's the reason, you guys. It takes time for people to process ideas. The experts say that people need to hear something 7 times or more before they really grasp it. This puts the idea in their heads that, hey, this could be me. Now, keep in mind when someone, don't you love this one? Keep in mind when someone walks into the show, they are programmed to say no. They are thinking, I am only spending $25 tonight, no matter what that girl says, and I am not booking a party. And most people definitely are not thinking about joining your team. So here's the deal. Your job is to turn that around by planting seeds about booking and recruiting and having a really fun and interesting show. Just like when you are selling them on these fabulous products, you guys, you're selling them on booking a show and joining your team. Why? Well, of course, you want recruits and bookings and sales, but more importantly, you want what's best for them. Our opportunity to join Pampered Chef, host a show, or to own our wonderful products. Okay, have you had enough of that picture? All right, so how big is a seed? These are just short and sweet, brief statements, right? And the first one happens right after you give your brief intro. So here's an example of a brief booking and recruiting seed combined, and you can see this on your handout. You're going to have so much fun tonight, and I know you'll fall in love with many of the products. So think about this. You can purchase the items you want to have right away and then get the rest for free at your party. Usually half of the people at the party decide to do that. By the way, many of you will be inspired when you see how easy it is to be a consultant, and you'll want to learn more about joining my team. So be sure to watch what I do and picture yourself in my shoes. How does that sound? You guys, right away, they're thinking, half of the people in the room will book a show. Which half am I in? And then they're thinking, I'm excited. I'm going to be inspired. Well, let's do this. So what you're really doing here, you guys, is you're setting the stage with this statement. That's what you do at the beginning of your party. Now let's talk about planting seeds throughout the show. This is where the magic happens. You guys are going to dazzle them with our amazing products and recipes and tips and tricks, and you make sure everyone is having fun, and you're planting seeds. You plant seeds to cultivate interest by highlighting the main reasons why people choose to join all throughout your presentation, which is income, fun, flexibility, products, and their own personal heart tug. By the end of the party, they're in love with everything you showed them, and they're in love with you. So let's talk about some words to say. All right, so let's talk about your in-person party first. Now, I will tell you, when I've been working with leaders, I've been here for almost 10 years now, most consultants skip this part. So don't miss out on this opportunity to plant seeds. So here is a way that you can plant seeds throughout your presentation. Remember, we want to touch on the main reason why people want to join Pampered Chef. And we've actually done surveys to show that these are the actual reasons in this order. So number one is income. And number two is fun. And part of why number two is fun is because people want to have a job that's fun. All right. The next is flexibility. And then fourth is because, of course, of our outstanding products. And then the last one is their own personal heart tug, which usually relates to one of the above, right? Income, fun, flexibility, or products. So this is an interesting point to note. This list, as I said, is in priority order of the top reasons people join Pampered Chef. 95% of all consultants have an income goal, which is why it's listed first on your, it's why it's listed first, all right? So on your handout, what I have done is listed an example for each category, but I want you to be sure to make it your own, all right? So here's just one example, and you can read the rest of these. So for income, you might say, like most of you, when I went to my first Pampered Chef party, I was not looking for a job. But when I realized I could earn enough to make my car payment, I was sold. All right, and so you've got examples on your sheet for all of those different reasons why people join Pampered Chef. So you can stop the video now if you want to take the time to go ahead and read those. All right, so as you're planting seeds, I want you to look for green flags. Now, we used to call this red flags, but to me, red means stop. I want you to go, right? So green flags means go. So I want you to look at how people respond. A green flag is an indicator that someone just might be interested in joining your team. So if you see any of these green flags, I want you to be ready to share the opportunity. Now, here are a few green flags to look for. Do they look surprised or respond in some way? I don't think it's going to look exactly like that, although it could. Do they ask questions, maybe later or maybe during the show even? Do they look thoughtful or really tune in when you're talking about the business and planting these seeds? It could be during your show or it could be after. You guys, these people might be your next recruit. There are some other green flags here that might be more subtle. For instance, I want you to think about the very first person to arrive. They're eager and excited to be there. How about someone who asks if they can help set up, clean up, or pack up? This person loves to help and may be interested in experiencing how things are done at a show. All right, you don't want to say, no, I have a certain way. Let them help you. All right, how about someone who initiates recruiting type questions, like how long have you been doing this? Or how many parties do you do in a week? How about someone who pulls you aside for a one-on-one conversation? Or maybe even a naysayer who says, I could never do what you do. Maybe they say, well, I can't cook. They just might need a little nudge from you to help them overcome their limiting beliefs. They may just need some encouragement. They may want you to tell them that they could do this, just to increase their beliefs in themselves. Trust me, I've had this person at many shows who really just need you to say, oh my gosh, if I can do this, you can do this. All right, so when you get a recruiting question, which is, remember, a green flag, be sure to answer their question with a short and sweet answer. Don't go into detail as you may overwhelm them. And then you're going to say these 6 words. These were the most important words I learned, because when they used to give me a green flag, it was like I would attack them and, just tell them everything they ever wanted to know about the business. And you definitely overwhelm them. You can give them what I call hurricane hair. So these 6 words are, I'm curious. Why do you ask? All right. So once they answer, you're going to find out these 4 things. Find out what appeals to them about the business. Make sure you have their contact information. Offer them an opportunity brochure. And chat with them about the opportunity there, or set up a time to discuss it further. All right, so now let's talk about all of our virtual party friends. Now, here are some seeds that you might plant in your posts throughout your presentation. And you'll see some of the same word choices on your handout that you can, go ahead and read later. But I want you I want to just talk about one of my very favorite recruiting graphics. So if you go to income under marketing imagery, right? So you got marketing imagery, and I'm sorry, not to income. For the income example, like people join for income, you're want to go under marketing imagery, and you're going to click down here under social. And there's several choices of gifts and posts from marketing imagery to choose from. Now, one of my very favorites is the post of the back of the opportunity brochure. And we're going to talk more about this one a little bit later. Excuse me, I have a little cold and I need to take a drink. All right, so the back of the opportunity brochure. But basically what I love about this is it talks about the 4 scenarios that most of our consultants fall into as far as their income goes, all right? And then there are 4 gifts. I love these because they highlight each of these income goals. And most people don't realize this at first when they go to marketing imagery because you're scrolling through so fast, but they play like a little mini video. And so you can post one on each day of your party. Like I would post this on the first day because this is about having fun. And then this next one is about contributing to the household income, and then a specific income goal, and then full-time income. So these are really great. All right, so then you also are going to see those script choices for income, fun, flexibility, products, and heart tug that are written right on your little worksheet there. All right, but the thing you need to understand is just about any post can lead to a recruiting conversation. And of course, you want to be looking for green flags here as well. And when you see the green flags, you're going to want to be sure to message them and start a conversation. All right. So here's some examples of green flags when you're at a virtual party and you're going to want to message them. First of all, the first person to join the group, just like at a show. Sound familiar? How about someone who interacts and really adds value by sharing why they loved a product? Or maybe they're sharing a recipe for other guests to try. Maybe there's someone who likes and comments on every post. Maybe they are somebody who asks questions specifically about the business, or someone who's messaging you with a question or to have a one-on-one conversation. You guys, these people just might be your very next recruit. So that's what you do throughout your party to create interest in the Pampered Chef opportunity. So now let's talk about how you wrap it up with your confident close. Your confident close isn't just about selling products and booking parties. All right, yes, that's in there. And of course, you share the guest special, but it's also about your guests. You want to leave your guests with a final word that reinforces the best thing you have to offer them, which is the Pampered Chef business. So your confident close or recruiting message is a great place to link back to your intriguing intro. Remember when you promised them that you were going to tell them more about your story? So in the beginning of the party, you told them why you started. And now you want to tell them why you stay. So here's how you do this. You're going to create your short and sweet, efficient yet effective way to share this opportunity that is sincere and that is true to you. Make it your own. This is the most important piece you can master for recruiting success at your party. Now, before you deliver it, you're actually going to slow down. You're going to lower your tone and your pitch, and you're going to be really intentional about sharing. Some consultants actually like to take a seat so they can be eye level to really connect with their guests. And yes, you can do this virtually. Just pull up a chair and sit down in front of them. All right. If you're using a virtual party, by the way, you really want to have a video for your opening, your intriguing intro, and your close. Or you can really step outside of the box and go live, which will make the recruiting statement even more impactful. So there's 2 steps that I want you to think about with this confident close. All right, that can really, really make this impactful. The first thing is you're going to share why you stay. All right, so you're going to describe 2 or 3 ways that the income has impacted you and your family. And this is really important. And I encourage you to be as specific as you can about what Pampered Chef has done for you financially, adding in even the dollar value of these financial benefits. This makes it very real to them. For example, if you paid for your kids' college, you might want to talk about how much that cost. If you paid off debt, don't just say we've paid off debt. Tell them how much. I talked to somebody yesterday who said they have paid off $32,000 worth of debt, but she's never shared that at a show. Maybe you've remodeled your house. Maybe you are somebody who has just started Pampered Chef. You've only been in a few months, but you've had the same couch for 10 years since you've been married, and you finally just bought a new couch with your Pampered Chef income. You guys, the point is it's authentic and it's real to you. All right, so by telling them how much you've paid off and dollar amounts, this is kind of like when we talk about a rock crock is 60% off versus telling them the actual cost of the product with the discount. It makes it real to them. So this is your chance to really connect with them through this personal connection or emotion. Now, the second thing is to share 1 or 2 other ways that the business has benefited you. Maybe it's the flexibility, the fun, or the friendships. Now, again, if you're just getting started, or if you have maybe a new consultant on your team that you're training, then you might be thinking, well, I've only been in the business for 6 months. I don't have as much of a powerful story to share. And that's okay. Even if you made a few $100s and just started making the car payment or covering one of your kids' sports fees, that's great. You guys, this is a real life example that happened to you that makes the benefit of this business real to your audience. All right. If you're a new consultant, or again, if you have someone on your team, you can also share an example of something that you are inspired to achieve. All right. So for example, you might say, my director has gone on 4 free vacations with Pampered Chef, and my goal is to go with her next year. So the potential recruits that you'll be speaking to during your party, they're going to be motivated by income first, fun, flexibility, products, and then their own special reason. So if you can, you want to touch on each of those statements very briefly. All right, the other thing I was going to say here is, if you're really new, you might not want to say, let me tell you why I stay. You might want to say, and let me tell you what I'm most excited about, or let me tell you one thing I've accomplished. Okay? All right, so let's talk about the second step, which is sharing the opportunity brochure. One of my favorite things to talk about. So this is one of the most important things you can do at an in-person party or a virtual party. At an in-person party, you want to make sure everyone has an opportunity brochure in their hands. And you want to tell them to flip it over and look at the back of the brochure. All right, at a virtual party, there's the post that looks like this, right? Now, let's talk about how this will sound. Now, remember your confident close. Again, it's about recruiting. It's about booking. It's about wrapping up your show, about your guest special, all of that. But right now, we're just going to talk about the recruiting message that is going to be in your confident close. All right? So you're going to share your story of why you stay or why you're excited, but I want you to slow down your voice, your tone, and your pitch. All right? So it could look something like this, and you have this on your handout. Earlier this evening, I told you I've been with Pampered Chef for 3 years, and I love what I do. I started this business because I loved the products, but it's become so much more than that for me. Let me tell you why I stay. Now, did you notice how I slowed down my voice, my tone, and my pitch at that point? This is important because at this point, you guys, when you pause, pausing is communication. And what it's saying is, you're going to want to hear this, right? And so in this example, it says, about 5 months ago, after I signed up, my husband was laid off from his job, and I wanted to help. So I decided to give it my all as he looked for work. With my Pampered Chef income, I was able to cover our mortgage of $1,200 a month. Pampered Chef saved our house. I decided after that first payment, I was going to make a real go of this. And now, 3 years in, I make 3 times our mortgage every single month, and I have quit my full-time job. We'll never be in a position where we could lose our house ever again. At the same time, my father was having health issues, and I needed to be there. Having the flexibility to be able to take care of him was priceless. I would have never been able to get that much time off at my full-time job. After this stressful time in our lives, it was exciting to know that my husband and I were going to be going on a much-needed free Pampered Chef trip that I was able to earn. I am so grateful for what Pampered Chef has been able to do for me and my family. Oops, I forgot to change the slide. Anyway, I hope you were reading it on your handout as we went through the script. So here's the thing, you guys. This is when then you're going to lead right into your opportunity brochure. And I thought I had mine sitting right here. Now, there it is. All right. So what you have to do at this point is you have a little bit of a transition. And so you're going to say something like, you know, I have heard my leaders share that people are quitting their full-time job to do this, to, you know, do Pampered Chef full-time every day. Or you could have a transition like, you know, this is a real job where you can make real money. And so what I'd like to do is point out on this opportunity brochure what you're going to want to do, and then I'm going to role play this for you. All right. Okay, so this is where you're going to share 3 or 4 different scenarios of what they might do with the money for each of these first 3 categories that really could impact your guest's life or someone they know. And for the last category, you're going to be sharing 3 or 4 reasons that many people need the flexibility, because that category is a little bit different. It's about a full-time income, but it also ties in that important piece of flexibility. All right, so it really makes your audience think about how a Pampered Chef business could benefit them, or somebody that they know. So every time you mention a different category, you guys, you're really asking for a different type of referral. All right, so ask them which one of those goals inspires them. You can talk about that at your checkout chat. You can ask them right after you go through the opportunity brochure. So let me just give you a quick example of what this looks like. All right, so actually let's go back to this. All right, so I would have told my story, and then I would say, so you guys, I just want you to understand that this is a real job where you can make real money. So just take a look at the back of this brochure, and the top of it says, what inspires you to succeed? And so the very first category there, you'll see that you can make more money for fun. All right, that's 1 to 3 hours a week. Most people are making around $100 to $500 a month. So maybe this is something you're interested in, just to get, a mani-pedi once a month, or a massage, or buy some shoes. Or maybe you want to treat your husband to dinner, or cover kids' activities. All right, or maybe you're looking for more. Maybe you or someone you know fits into the second category, which is about supporting the household budget. All right, these people are typically working 3 to 6 hours a week, and they're earning $665 to about $1,100 a month. All right, you guys, and I'm just reading it right off of the little brochure. Actually, I'm going to put my video on for this. Okay, so I have this little brochure right in my hand, and I've written the categories there so that I can remember what they are. All right, so I would say, so maybe you want money to support the household budget. People are working 3 to 6 hours per week, earning around $600 to $1,100 a month. Now, this could be the car payment. It could be for groceries. This could be your mortgage payment. Or maybe you fit into the third category, which is a big financial goal. Now, these are people who are committing 8 to 15 hours a week, and these are people who are earning between $1,400 and $18,000 a month. Now, that seems like amazing, doesn't it? $18,000 a month. And I will tell you that when this brochure was created, this was based on real incomes of our current Pampered Chef consultants. And these are people who joined maybe to pay for a wedding or a vacation, or to have some extra money for retirement. Maybe they wanted to remodel their house. All right. And the last income is somebody who really needs a full-time income, but they also need that flexibility. These people work 15 to 25 hours a week or more, and the income range is between $6,800 a month and $45,000 a month. And keep in mind, these are based on real incomes. Now, not everybody earns $45,000 a month, but this is the actual range of income. So what do you need flexibility for? Maybe you have aging parents that you're caring for. Maybe you have a child with medical needs or a troubled teen. Everybody has something they are dealing with in their life. I know some people have their own health issues, but they still need a full-time income. Well, like I said earlier, this is a business where you can earn real money. This is a real job where you can earn real money. So if you or someone you know would like to know more, I would love to talk to you more about it. So that's how simple it is, you guys, to use this little brochure. So the first thing you should do is go order a bunch of these, and then write down what your categories are going to be that you are going to talk about. Now, the one thing I want you guys to notice that I said is this business may be for you, or it might be for someone you know. Notice I didn't say if this business is not for you. You guys, I don't want to help them say no. Remember, they come into the show already saying no. So I don't want to say if this business is not for you. I don't even want to plant that little seed in their head. Okay? All right, so that is how you're going to use your opportunity brochure. So sometime today, I want you guys, while this is fresh in your mind, I want you to write your own story, okay? So on this worksheet, you'll see where this is all written out, and you are gonna write down, 3 or 4 ideas of, the fine, of, what each category will stand for. First, you're going to fill out your confident close here. Sorry, I'm confusing you. And make sure that middle section is financial reasons. Like I said, I don't care if you just, bought a couch for $500 or you paid off $32,000 in debt. This is not bragging, you guys. What you're doing is letting people know this is a real business. And when you use an income example, you set yourself apart from every other direct seller that just says, I paid off debt and I go on free vacations. So you've got to use those real life examples. And then what I want you to do is take your opportunity brochure and write down those 3 or 4 categories that you would like to mention. One of the things you can mention for fun money is, grandparents that want to buy goodies for their grandkids. I have a lot of my friends who are grandparents now, and so they're really wanting to have that extra money for their grandkids. So this part here, you guys, this confident close, I can't tell you how important this is. I work with a lot of leaders on this to help them perfect their confident close. And it doesn't matter if they've been with Pampered Chef for 2 years or 22 years. Once they learn to do this well, their recruiting changes immediately. Okay? All right, so let's go to the checkout chat. We are to our last 2 topics. And hey, if you need to pause and go grab something to eat, run to the bathroom, go for it. All right, so checkout chat. So the checkout chat is a critical conversation. And this could either be one of the last times you closely connect with this person, or the first of many great conversations that you have about Pampered Chef. So I want you to have that mindset every time you go into your checkout chat. Before I would do my checkout chat, I used to always say to myself, this would be great for her. This would be great for him. I just had that mindset, like they'd be crazy not to do this. And I would just say to myself, oh my gosh, they should do this. Oh my gosh, they should do this. So I started immediately thinking about reasons of why I thought they should do this. All right, so your mindset as you enter into this checkout chat is really important, whether you're sitting right next to them or whether you are having a virtual checkout chat. And what's really cool, you guys, is this is your chance to take everything that you learned about them throughout the party and offer the opportunity in a way that's really relevant and meaningful to them. And remember, it is time to ask every person at every party. I want you guys to write that mantra on a sticky note and put it on your laptop or on your desk or on your forehead. I don't care if you need to make a sign, laminate it, and put it around your neck. Every person at every party. When I started doing that, that is when my recruiting started to soar. All right. So you guys, in virtual parties, you know that your guests, they check out on their own, with the party link. So this means that you have to be really intentional about checkout chats, because otherwise they're not going to be very easy to come by. So let's talk about that. So I want you to think of something in a different way as far as how you are having your checkout chat. Most people say, have you ever thought about being a consultant? Which almost always gets a no, right? Or have you ever thought about having a home-based business? And sometimes you get more yeses with that. But I want you to try this. This will actually get you more results. Have you ever thought about earning some extra money or just adding a little bit more fun into your life? Now, this gets you a lot more yeses because most people can use a little extra income. And if they don't need extra money, then they probably need more fun in their life, right? So for virtual parties, you want to reach out to each party guest. after your recruiting message with an offer to help them finalize their purchases or with a thank you if they've already purchased. All right. This is, of course, where you guys cross-sell additional products and you offer them the opportunity to host. But remember, this is time to ask, you guys can say it with me now, every person at every party, right, if this opportunity is right for them. And you know what? I don't want you to be surprised if someone joins right there at the party. I want you to keep in mind it's not common among most of our consultants, but a lot of our top recruiters, they do this all the time. Because remember, we do know that, you know, some people need more time to think about it and to process, and that's okay. If they are interested, but, you know, they want to think more about it or learn more about it, you want to schedule an opportunity chat with them within the next 24 to 48 hours, or just ask if you can chat with them later if it's a virtual party. And just start chatting. And actually, you can chat with them even if it's not virtual, but I encourage you to try to get together with them or talk on the phone as soon as you possibly can, because nothing really replaces the sound of your voice. I know some people won't talk to you. I know some people are only going to message you. I live in the real world, so I do understand that that's the case. But here's the thing, as much as you can, you guys, when you do the checkout chat, I really encourage you to personalize it. Personalize your checkout chat with the information you learned about them when they arrived, and also during the party. Really, when you keep your focus on them and you stay present and you really listen, boy, that really makes a difference. So here's an example of how to personalize your checkout chat. Let's say they've really had a crummy day at work. You might say something like this. Now, this is on your worksheet. Susan, I've been thinking about you tonight. And when you came in after that rough day at work, you were a bit frazzled and you mentioned you weren't loving your job. You even mentioned you thought about working from home. I think a Pampered Chef business might be a really good fit for you. And here's why. I could tell you were having fun tonight. You could get paid to have parties like this. We have many consultants who choose to make that switch over time and leave those days behind. How does that sound to you? All right. And then you can read on your worksheet how to respond to their answer. So I've given you an example of if they say yes, if they say no, or if they're not sure. All right. So if you want to stop the video now and read those, you can do that as well. All right, so we're going to jump right into the follow-up. Now, you guys, it's so important that you be sure to check out the updated digital interview PowerPoint and the opportunity chat guide. This is absolutely one of the easiest ways to teach your team members how to recruit. And many consultants have shared with me that they've actually just taken screenshots of these slides and they've sent them via Messenger to people. So I feel like the digital interview PowerPoint and the opportunity chat guide, they are kind of the best kept secret. So I want you guys to dig in to learn more about those. So here is an example of the digital interview PowerPoint. So it's been updated to be very similar to the slides that we use for our opportunity webinars that happen on the third Tuesday of every month. So this is the PowerPoint. You can use it on your iPhone, your iPad, your Android device, your laptop. You can use it with Zoom, send the screenshots in Messenger. But my favorite part is once they're ready to get started, it takes them right to the consultant agreement, you guys. So you can walk through how to get them started. And this was so fun. I was actually doing a meeting in Washington, and there was a gal who'd gotten her first recruit. She was super excited about the business. And I literally showed her how to download them on her phone and flipped through them. And it literally guides you through how to recruit. And after 3 minutes, this was on her phone. I showed her how to do it. And her exact words were, I can do that. All right, so it gives people the confidence to recruit as well. So this is the opportunity chat guide. And you guys, this is 3 simple steps. You're going to get acquainted. You're going to review the PowerPoint slides with them, all right, and that takes you through page 2. And then on page 3, you're going to do the wrap-up. This literally is telling you how to close the deal. So when people are saying to me, oh, I've got them on the fence, or they're thinking about it, I'm like, well, what are they thinking about? You know, here's what I think about this, you guys, is that when you take the time to use the digital interview PowerPoint and the opportunity chat guide, it really gives them the information they need to make a decision. So if somebody says, I'm thinking about it, I would say, well, I'd like to go through this short little, presentation with you over Zoom or on my phone, or, however you want to pull it up. You can do Zoom on Facebook even, all right? But at this point right now, this is what you'd say to a prospect, it's kind of like you're trying to make a decision without hearing about the job description. So can we just, take a few minutes to go through these cards? All right. I mean, it usually takes 20 minutes or less. I mean, depending on how much you talk. But the nice thing about the digital interview cards is that it really leads with a question on each card. And so they're the ones that are doing most of the talking, which is the way it's supposed to be. All right, so you'll also notice on your handout, there's a few more follow-up tips for creating more recruiting opportunities. So just pull out your worksheet. You can read those. It's talking about how to follow up with every guest, inviting them to your VIP groups and those types of things, inviting them to our opportunity events that happen the 3rd Tuesday of every month, those types of things. So go ahead and you can check that out. One thing I want you guys to remember in your follow-up is that sharing the opportunity is really more than just checking a box at the checkout chat. So if you're at a live show, you are like, well, you want to sell Pampered Chef? No. Do you want to join, book a show? No. Check. Do you want to take a recipe? Okay, I'll take a recipe card. So when you personalize your checkout chat, you guys, it really shows that you heard them and that you see the potential in them. And that's what creates the desire, and it literally pours belief into them. And no matter what their response, everybody loves to feel valued. So that's the power of the opportunity that you have to share. So the question is, are you using all of these opportunities at every single party? Are you building relationships? Do you have an intriguing intro? Are you planting seeds? Are you sharing your story and being very specific about it? 3 financial reasons and 2 other reasons, right? Are you using your checkout chat? And are you following up? You guys, we are excited about all that you can be accomplishing in your business, and what you will continue to accomplish throughout the rest of the year. We at Pampered Chef believe in you. We believe that you can and will reach your income and your business growth goals. We believe in your dreams and your goals, and we believe they're worth all the effort that you're putting into your business. I just want you for a minute to imagine what your personal business will look like a year from now. If you commit to 8 bookings every month and recruiting 2 every single month, this is what we do in Lead. This is what really takes people to new heights in their business. I want you to think about what you can do, what you can be, and what you can have. And I want you to write down right now, and there's not a place for it on your worksheet, but if you knew that you could not fail, what do you want your business to look like a year from now? I want you to really think about the things that you need for your family. What do you want more of? And what do you want less of? All right, sorry, I got through that whole thing before the dog started barking. So think about that. What do you want more of? What do you want less of? Write down your goals. How much do you want to sell every month, every week? How many shows do you want to have every week? How many new team members do you want to have? What do you want your title to be? All right. Are you going to be an advanced director, senior director, executive director walking across that stage at conference? Senior executive director, national executive director. All right. So I hope you guys, oh, I guess I should put my little video back on, have enjoyed listening to this. You kind of have the A to Z of recruiting at a show now. And so I wanted to finish with a great little quote, since this is our year of Disney, that says, all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. All right, so good luck to you guys. Have a great year of recruiting, and we'll be talking to you soon. If you're in lead, make sure you're looking at the homework that we sent in the email with the recording. All right, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.